Shalom family, this is Nathaya, and I am interviewing Kayahdawan about reasons to move to Africa. Shalom.
Shalom. I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to the question.
Okay, so let's get into it. First question. These are personal reasons. Why do you feel you needed to live and go to Africa?
No, that question crosses two lines. It's a spiritual and it's a need. What I mean by that is the spiritual need for me to leave Babylon. I'm going to call it Babylon because it's a part of a system, a whole complete system. So your Babylon could be anywhere in America or the UK or Australia or any of the Western countries. But for the reason for me to leave this particular Babylon is because it was a drain on my Ruach. Ruach means soul to me. That's the note, that's Hebrew word for soul. And it was something that I had to do. Yeah. The Father called me to leave. And I know a lot of people are waiting to be maybe getting a burning bush or a spaceship coming or something to tell them to leave. But just like before in the scripture, you tell you he will gather you like he gathered the children out of Israel. He gathered them out of Jerusalem and told them they had to leave, they had to flee. He put in their hearts and mind to do so. So what made me leave was he put it in my heart and he put it in my mind to leave. Now I could have ignored the voice as much as I want, but it was in my heart and it was in my mind to leave and come back to the land where our fathers lived, within the borders of Abraham, because I felt, and I know now this is where my peace it was to be. And for me, I didn't ignore the voice.
Okay.
Now, I said spiritual, but I also said it had an economic base believing too. The American dollar is more valued here. So the Most High has a time and place for everything. I know I'm not going to go into it, but the dollar eventually is going to fail. So this time we can use the dollar advantage to create a better economic base for the people here in Africa. This is the time before the dollar failed. So the Most High never does nothing unpurposely. He put it in your heart to leave at a time that will be more economically and more smart for you to leave. This is the time. So I knew this in my heart by watching economics and watching the value of the dollar and the Most High speaking to me, telling me that it is time for me to leave. Now, that is a personal thing to me. Now, to you, I don't know. On the others out there, I know he spoke to me. I do believe he's speaking to you too. Because inside of you, you know. I'm going to repeat, you know that he's telling you it's time to leave. Now, you can hear the voice, or you can close your ears and steadfast to your comfort.
Okay, so those are some pretty strong reasons to move to Africa. What do you feel you've gained since moving to Africa?
I gained quite a bit moving to Africa. Africa as a whole is a peaceful place. Now, don't get me wrong, there are warring countries, and they have their problems. But as a whole, it is a peaceful place. Now, and I know what I've gained. I gained a peace. What is that peace? That peace is when I wake up in the morning and I go out and I work on my yard, my farm. I'm starting a farm, and I have a peace. I don't worry about getting in my car and driving, being pulled over by oppressors, and somehow it escalates and they kill me, or they beat me, or they jail me. For the most part, you don't have those fears in Africa. I wake up when everybody looks like me. everybody. I mean, you really can't tell me apart from them unless I speak. So that also relieves a great deal of stress, when I walk in a room or I walk any place, that I'm not worried that the people there are judging me. That if you're white, you're Chinese, or you're any other races, you're watching me. I walk in the store, they're not watching me to see if I'm going to steal. I mean, it takes an incredibly lot of stress off of you that you didn't even know you had. Now, I'm going to repeat that. You didn't even know you had it until it's lifted off of you. So, what Africa gave me is a sense of pride of coming home, a sense of communion with the people who look like me, and I can talk to them, and I'm not simply judged. Uh, it gave me a feeling that with my family, I'm not worried about them being harmed. Now, don't get me wrong, there's crime in Africa. There's crime all over the world. But if I was to try to compare the crime here in Africa to the crime in the UK or the crime in America, it wouldn't even reach 5%. So if you're going through your mind saying that, well, there's crime everywhere, that's like saying, in so many words, I can be in the fire or I can be outside the fire. So I can stick my arm in the fire and or I can be right outside the fire and it will still give me heat, but it won't burn me. So you can't compare your arm in the fire outside the fire. And I know that's what a lot of you are going to say. Well, there's kind, yeah, but there's like from where I'm from in the U.S. and I know people watch my videos from different places in the world. There's mass killings every day. There's murder, there's death, there's rape. That's every day. I mean, on a level that is, as they put it, unprecedented. So I don't, I'm not confused that there is crime in Africa. I'm not confused that they have their problems, their political problems, they corrupt politicians, they're all these things. Now, I know Africa has those things, just like every country in the world has it. But I'm always reminded in the scripture tell you that the world is given unto the hands of the wicked. So the wicked, it's everywhere. I don't care where you go. You go to a small island in the middle of the desert and no one's around. You got 3 people. One of them gonna be wicked. So you got to get in your mind that wherever you go, there's going to be wicked. There's always going to be criminals. There's always going to be people who are going to try to take advantage of you. That is why you have the Most High. And when I say the Most High, I'm talking about Yahweh, the great Almighty, the Most High, and His Son Yahweh Shai. So, who you may ignorantly call Jesus Yahweh Shai, and God, which is truly Yahweh, the Most High. But this is not a class on biblical class. It's about an interview with what I feel. So that the question is, what did I gain here? I gained peace. I gained a form of happiness, communion. I understand what communion is, because I watch the African families and how they do. The male is the head, and he takes care of the family, and the wife does the things that she's supposed to do. But she knows she's important to the family as well. She takes her position, because we all have positions in the eyes of the Most High, and she embraces it, and that is the difference. The family structure core is still here in Africa, and it's not no LGBT and WSYZ, and it ain't all these crazy he, she, and I, he, and whatever you want to come up with. You're just a man, and you're just a woman. And they understand that here in the land of Africa. They understand that it includes to build a family, you have to have a father and you have to have a mother. And there, a mother and a father make children. It's a simple theory. Now, and it's been around since the beginning of time. They're not quick to follow these advancements of the Western worlds because they, in their culture, family structure is important. Go ahead. But that's some of the advantages, you know. And what I gain here, I gain land. I gain a home. You know, I'm gaining a farm. You know, I'm gaining a position in the community where people trust me, care for me, and look up to me in the sense that they know that I am a child of the Most High, and I serve Him, and I serve Him only. Those are the gains that I got here, and I thank the Most High.
Nice. Okay. So you say you've gained land and a home and farm. How difficult has that been financially? And how difficult financially would it be to gain all of those things in Africa?
Well, gaining land and farm and home is not difficult at all if you have the financial backing. Uh, what I mean, you don't need a lot, like people think, because you can slowly build your home as time goes by. Um, I don't like to give people a set amount because I don't know what type of home you want. You may want a 2 bedroom. You may want a 1 bedroom. You may want a mansion. So if I give you a amount and you say, well, I can't, that's not what I needed. Then I go and see you trying to build a 3-story mansion and and, well, I didn't have enough. So what I would tell you about finance, you secure as much finance as you can. Now you do understand that the dollar is highly valued here at this time. So whatever you build, you're still going to have the advantage, whether it's a 1 bedroom or 8 bedroom. So you're going to have the advantage right now. So the key is to figure out what you want and put it within your budget. So before you come, have funds, but don't come where you feel like I'm just totally secure. What I mean by that is, uh, I've learned something in like that. You will never be financially secure unless you're rich, according to Hasatan. Hasatan is always going to tell you need more. And huh?
Hasatan.
Yeah, Hasatan, the devil.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the devil or Satan. He was always going to tell you need more so you can stay in Babylon, so you can gain that comfort that you want to have. You have to step out of your comfort zone if you want to follow the Most High. Meaning, the Most High is always going to make it so that you understand He is the one you lean on and not yourself. Example: if I say I need $300,000 to go to Africa and build my home, and so I save up that whole $300,000, but the devil or Hasatan is going to say, "Oh, you need more once I get to it." I know that, and you probably in your mind you probably will because if you took a year to build it, then that year went back, prices went up. So in your mind, yeah, I need more. You're going to always be in a continual cycle of trying to get more, and eventually you're not going to be able to leave the Americas, and you're going to be stuck with that money there. And you never started, you never built, you never did anything that would have been sufficient for you. So what I mean is you save up enough, but you lean on Him more. Like me, I didn't have much when I got here. I didn't. But I land on the Most High knowing that, like He always say, if I provide for the birds and the bees, what much would I provide for you? So in my mind, I understand that. I don't have to have a lot to do what He want me to do. I just have to step out on faith. So your question was, what was your question?
What do you need? Like,
Okay.
is it difficult to survive here financially?
Okay, it can be difficult if you don't prepare something. But I do believe that if you step out on the Most High, there are always going to be people out there who are going to help you in the sense of if you step out, you lean on the Most High, you will be successful. It may not be the success that you want, but it'll be the success that the Most High wants. This is another thing. We always want the success that we want. But if we are servants of the Most High, and I believe that, we're here to do His will and to please Him. Now, what He give me and what I accept, I gratefully accept. But it may not necessarily be what I want. Yeah. But it's what He wants. But I know one thing, it will suffice. And it will suffice in my journey, in my mission. And I'm not confused about that. So I have to put me away and put Him first. And in doing that, I'm not going to have everything the world tell me I got to have before I start. Because if I had everything the world told me to start, then I'm going to think I did it. Yeah.
And that's not leaning on the Most High.
That's not leaning on the Most High. That's not giving Him His praise. He wants you to know He did it.
I have another question, please. Some people say, well, you said you have to be prepared and you need to bring things. But some people say, well, I just have faith that the Most High will take care of me. So how do you respond to that?
Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
You're going to have to put the work in it, and it's okay to have faith. We understand the devil have faith. He believe, he know his outcome. He believe in the Most High. He believe in Yahweh Shai, and he had all that good stuff. Every Christian out there have some form of faith, but the part of the faith that counts is the work. The work meaning you're going to have to put some physical effort into it, meaning you're going to have to earn some money. You're going to have to, you put $1 in, he put 3. See, that's how it works, but you got to earn that dollar. You can't sit back and say, I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to come to me. You have to be prepared. The Bible always tells you to be prepared. You prepare for the Sabbath. All these things are kind of things that help you. Even in your normal life, if you do the Sabbath every Saturday, you prepare for it. You have a prep time. He's teaching you to prepare. He's not only trying to teach you how to prepare for the Sabbath, but everything in life. If you know you have to do this, you prepare. So you moving to Africa or one of the African countries is a big step, so you have to prepare. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to get up and go. But the great thing about the Most High, He's going to put it in your thoughts to prepare. And then He's going to give you the means to prepare. Now, when you get these means, the the devil is going to come with all type of things that he wants you to buy or things that you think you need, because he will provide the funds for you. I give you brothers a test. Sincerely in your heart, start to prepare to leave. Sincerely. And watch how the Most High will rock you. Watch how all the things you will worry about just going to fall in line. The little things that you had concern about are going to fall in line. But you have to sincerely want to leave. It's not waving it, and soon you get enough money, you put it on a car. Or you do something else. If you truly want to, He will provide. And when He speaks to you, when He gathers you, let me repeat, because the people keep this thing in their head about gathering me, He's going to come pick you up in His car or His spaceship. That's ridiculous. When He gathers you, which means He put it in your heart, in your mind, and then faith without work, when you do the work, that means you got to get that plane ticket. You have to sacrifice. You have to take your family there. Just like they did out of Egypt, they had to pack their stuff. Now, I always tell people, the world, the Most High doesn't change. Well, what do I mean by that? We've been through, as Israelites, we've been through many captivities. In every captivity, we had to flee. Now, everyone we had to flee, whether it was the Assyrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, Jerusalem captivity, or Egypt captivity, we were always fleeing. And He didn't send no spaceships, and He called all those gatherings. He said, I gathered my people. So we waiting for someone to gather us. What He's saying to you, I put it in your thoughts, in your mind to move. He's doing that right now, brothers and sisters. Right now. Now you can accept that, and you can let that voice go away and let Hasatan run all over your head and say, oh, it's not time. I'm waiting for the spaceship. Then so be it. But this ain't a message to beat you down or nothing like that. It's just this is a personal thing for me. Um, I'm gonna tell you why I left. I heard the voice. I listened to the voice. It can be difficult sometimes financially, but you have to lean on Him. That's where your faith comes in the Word. If you lean on Him, the difficulties are not. He tell you not to worry about the next day. The Most High tell you that. He said, don't worry about the next day. All these things He tell you for a reason, but you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone.
That's difficult for me.
It's difficult for most people.
Okay. Back to the things about how to be successful, or what you need to bring to Africa. What's some of the capital you would need to be successful in Africa?
Okay, if you want to start a business, I'm gonna get a little specific about Ghana, okay? Because I can't tell you about the other countries. So, uh, if you wanted to start a business, say you wanted to rent a shop, or you wanted to, depending on whether you're in Accra or whether you're down in Kumasi or you in the Cape Coast, it's also going to depend on that. But if you go to a high retail area or a big area, you're going to need a lot more funds to rent those areas. That's just like in the cities where you at. If you go downtown area, the area's going to go up about 10 times. If you go to rural areas, things going to be a lot cheaper. It's the same concept here. But the capital you need is going to be what you want to start. You have to have an idea of what you want to do before you get to Africa. Now, Africa as a whole is a land of opportunity. I can tell you that. It's the virgin land. It's a virgin land for American ideas and American adventures. And this is what you need to understand as Africa. Africa is, we descend from Africa. So the things that we like in America, it's the same thing that they're going to like. It's in their blood. In the UK. So that's why when our rap goes all over, because it's what we like. And it goes everywhere because they're like us. They are us in a sense. A lot of them. Some are Israelites, some are Ham, but some are Japhet. A lot of them can be black too. So the thing is,
there's like a connection.
Where there's a connection. So what I'm telling you about business, if you like some things in America they don't have here, you bring it here, it will be successful because you like it there. As the majority of black people like it there, they just haven't had the opportunity to be exposed to it. So once you're exposed to it, I give you some ideas. Like for some that wants to start, I'm gonna tell you some business ideas that I think that would do very well. Roller skating rigs. If someone came in and invest in roller skating rigs, real roller skating rigs, when they dance around and have the food, you do very well. Water parks. If you come here and you invest, it's a hot place, there's no water parks. There may be a pool here and there, but a real live water park will be very successful here in Ghana. Uh, uh, Things that you do and you have there that you enjoy, bring it here that they have small or few in between. Hamburger joints. Any of that stuff, even though I don't necessarily agree with the fatty stuff, because I like hamburgers, don't get me wrong, but I don't want the fast food chains everywhere because they eat more natural foods. But
maybe a natural foods place
yes,
that tastes good, but
yes,
they
use natural and herbal. Yes,
okay.
But those type of business will do well.
All right. More advice you would give to people coming to Africa.
Coming to Africa, get your stuff together. What I mean, if you come into Africa, certain things you need to do. You need to set up bank accounts. If you can get in a bank account that you can use in Ghana, do your research, find out what banks in your neighborhood that that have no problem doing international transactions with Africa. Why do I say that? because a lot of countries like the United States or the UK or the Western countries make it difficult to work with African countries. They make it difficult. They always say because of crime and this and that, but that's honestly that's just BS. It's just an African black country, and they make it difficult to work with them. So the banks will make it difficult to work with them. Uh, so if you do that, make sure you get your bank, talk to your bank, make sure your bank know that you're going to Africa and that you're going to stay, because you may be doing transactions and they freeze your account and stuff like that, because they will do it quickly if they see anything dealing with Africa. So you keep them advised. Don't let them know. If you can, get your international driver's license. This is a key. I tell everybody. You get your international driver's license. You have a driver's license. Just go to AAA while you're in the United States. If you're in the United States, it only costs you $15-$20, I believe, and with your driver's license.
One of those travel centers.
One of those travel centers. In travel centers, yeah, in America. And you get your international driver's license. So that way, if you come to Africa, you can still drive. Now, that's only good for a year. You can use your international driver's license for a year in Africa. So that's one of the things I would tell them to do. Go get your international driver's license. It only takes about 15 minutes to do so. There's no test involved. There's no nothing. Only if you have a driver's license, they will simply give you an international driver's license.
How do you get a driver's license in, like where you are?
In Ghana, you have to go to the school. So you will have to go to the school, and then you will have to get a driver's license that way. It's sort of like the States, but you would just have to go through the school. And it's a time period that you have to do it. You want to pay, but it will cost you a quite deal more rather than you did it in the States and got your driver's license. In the States, you pay for your driver's license, what, $35 or something? Yeah. You do it here, you got to pay for the school. The school probably about 2,000 or 3,000 CDs. And then you have to take tax. Now you add more and more and more money. When you can do it there for $35 out of the way. And if you have your driver's license when you get here, you can go down there with your driver's license and you can get it changed over to a Ghanaian driver's license.
So it's considerably less than going to driving school
yes.
in the United States, for example.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you don't need to go to driving school in the United States. Have your auntie or your uncle drive you around and take the test.
No, I mean, like you said that you'd have to go to the school.
Here, you would have to go here.
But it's not as expensive as if you got your
driver's license in the state.
Okay, I just want to make sure
but if you go to the driving school in the United States, that could be expensive too. But I'm talking about someone who just get their driver's license, like me, get your uncle car, drive around a couple times, and then you're done. You don't need to go to a professional driving school itself.
So you get your international driver's license. That's one of the pieces of advice. What else would you advise?
If you are shipping stuff over here,
that's a big one.
If you plan on shipping things over here to Ghana, if you can bring your tools. I advise the quality of tools here are not as good as the States, or probably even the UK. I don't know. They do have saws and all that stuff, but most of them are China brands, so if you're a man or a woman who like tools, then I advise you bring your tools if you are bringing stuff here. Other things you should bring. I don't necessarily say you should bring your TVs and stuff like that. They sell TVs here. Africa has a lot of electronics like TVs, refrigerators, and stuff like that. Now, if you have a special type of refrigerator, but you may need a converter.
So if you have your one from the UK or from the States, then you might have to use the converter.
You may have to.
Okay.
So you got to keep that in consideration too. Is it worth it with the converter, transferring power, stuff like that? So, but they sell all these things here. Me personally, I didn't come with anything but suitcases.
Oh, wow.
So I have all that stuff now because they sell all that stuff here.
So is there anything that if you could go back and do it again, what kinds of things would you have brought besides just your suitcases?
Well, the things I would have brought back, you probably would not see. You
Why?
know, because I like vanilla wafers, so I would have bought vanilla wafers. I probably would have bought like 30 boxes of vanilla wafers with me, put them in a suitcase. Just had a bunch of them because it's hard to find here, or certain foods that I like, that I still have cravings for.
Okay.
But as far as things that I could bring that is sufficient, I would probably bring a filter system, water pump, water filter systems for the sites. I would probably got a collection of those because they don't sell those here. I've been looking, so I can have from my water tank I can drink clean water right out of the sink. So filtration systems, I would bring those. Let me think of something else I would bring. That is convenient. Solar power system. If you in the States y'all have a lot more solar power and they're a lot cheaper than here because it's a lot more competition. So and they usually have the solar power systems. So if I'm like me, you eventually want to build your home, you want to run on solar power. Y'all go into later about you should be self-sufficient, have your own water, and have your own power. And that's one of the gains I should have spoke of earlier when we talked about the gains in Africa.
So you have your own power and your own.
I have my own power. I have solar power system. I have my own boreholes. I mean, I have my own water, and I'm growing my own food as of now. So then I have my own. So those are the three basic needs you need to survive. And even in the times of the end times or the times of I'm a God in, whatever you want to believe in, whether you're a Christian or whether you are an Israelite. I know we have different sort of belief systems in that. I'm an Israelite, so I know I have to prepare for the worst. So being self-sustained, having your own land, having your own water, having your own light, or they call light power in Africa, you are good. And then you have a peace because there's no patrolling police going up and down the street, and you're out in an area where you're in the village. It's a peace and it's a sustainment that you can keep. And what about if you're in the United States, you have land, you have even if you can't even have your own water now in the United States or your own power. If you get solar power, they're still monitoring that and they put probably fines on that. It anyway ain't going anywhere. So you don't really have that freedom you have here with your land, with your water, with your power, and you can get all those things at a sufficient price. So again, if you wanted to come, if you brought a system, if you brought a bunch of stuff like a meal van, and you bought you a solar power system, maybe 5K or 10K, a whole system, you can come here and you can have it set up in your home. And it'll be cheaper because there's a lot more of them there than it is here.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes. So there's more of
It's called supply and demand.
Right.
The more there, the cheaper the cost.
More variety there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we talked about things you need to be prepared. You need to have prepared to come to Africa. Now, I want to know, what is your mission for being, your primary objective for being in Africa?
Now that goes back to what we were talking about, my gains. My primary mission is to serve the Most High.
Okay.
That will be my first, my last, and my final mission. And what do I mean by that? The Most High put in my heart to come to Africa, to pave the way for my brothers and sisters, my Israelite community, my brothers and sisters in the Israelite community. I'm here to help them settle. I'm here to help them find peace. I am here to help them gather here, whether it's here or anywhere, if they need my help. I am the advanced party. That's what I call it.
Like in the military.
Like in the military. I'm the advanced party. It's many like me. We're the advanced party. But we're waiting for the rest of the team, you, to come. So you need to make that chance and that sacrifice. We done most of the hard work for you. We didn't figure out the systems. We didn't figure out what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it. We didn't done the hard part. He put it in some of our hearts to be that advanced party because he knew we had the capability and the knowledge and the will and the strength to be the one that gets stepped on first. Let me put it that way. The one who absorbed the punches.
So you learn things and you're trying to teach others
right.
not to make the same mistakes or
exactly.
to fall under those same
exactly. I do my best to make sure they don't make the failures that I've done. Okay. And that's why the Most High sent me, because he knows you can beat me down and I get back up. He knows that about me. I don't take too many things personal, and I look at everything on the worldly stage, in the sense of evil, in the sense of wickedness, in the sense of people trying to pull me down because I know I'm a child of the Most High. I am a chosen. And when looking at it in that perspective, I expect people to do these things, but I'm always prepared. I have my full armor of God. So whether the arrows come or not, I stand fast. And being able to have that ability, he knew I would make a good advanced party person. And that's the best way to put it so people can understand. But a lot of people aren't that way. They need someone to shield them, at least when they start. Me and many others here that are like that are here to do that. But again, you have to hear the voice. You have to recognize it. And you have to accept it.
Okay. Well, I have a few more questions. I just wanted to know, what are some of the things that you like about Africa?
Oh, Ghana, Africa, and as a whole is, I think, and Ghana particularly, is a wonderful place to be. What I like is the peace of mind, the not having the fears. I can walk the nights here and all night and not worry about a soul. And there's still criminals out there. There's criminals everywhere. But the likelihood of you being robbed here is very slim to none. It's very slim. And most people don't even have guns here. Well, the police don't even have guns really in the streets. You have them every once in a while with the rifles. Most of those guys with the AKs, they're monitoring the banks or high areas where there's financial possibility of people robbing the financial institution. So that's why, like, if you go to like commercial areas and banks, the mall, you see them guarding the ATM machines and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're not all up and down the street walking around with pistols. They don't even carry guns. You know?
So it's not so much a thing against people. It's more they're trying to
protect financial institutions.
Oh, okay. So you say there's not a need to have to do that so much.
No, they just there to protect. If you pay attention, you're always going to notice if they walk around the mall, that means money is about to come to the ATM machines. That means they know that they get a call that the money is coming to the ATM machine, so the cops get there first. They sit there and wait. They put the money in the machines, and you come back 20 minutes later, those cops are gone. So it's more of a protection thing because people will rob the ATM. That's been done. People try to rob the bank. It's like the armored vehicles. Okay. They know the armored vehicles are coming. They need to be waiting there. So when they pull up, they can guard. But that's the only time you really see them. Now, you may see them in the immigration. Immigration sometimes have the rifles because that could do with drugs and high traffic. But that's just common sense. But for the most average police officer, don't have a gun. He just walk around. He may yell at you, but pretty much
So that must mean the people here are pretty peaceful.
Yes, the people are very peaceful. They're very non-aggressive. Okay. That's the best way to put it. The people in Ghana are very non-aggressive. They may argue with each other, and you see that a lot. They get out their cars, and they yell at each other, they scream, but then they just get back in their car and they leave. It's not a fist throwing fighting country. They just I mean I don't even half of them know how to fight. But that's just my opinion. But like America, and that's a compliment for the Africans, to tell you the truth. That may sound like not a compliment, but the fact that you don't have to sit there and learn how to fight and fake fight all your whole life, like me growing up in Detroit, says something about how you grew up. You grew up in a peaceful area where fist fighting wasn't the first thing you went to. It was the last. Sat on the base, you may argue, you yell, you go your way. So it's not a bad, it's actually a compliment. You may not think so at this time, but it is. If you go to a place and everybody know how to fight, they got to fight for a reason. They learn how to fight for a reason. It's probably ain't good. That means crime high, life is low, and all those things. So take it as a compliment.
All right, so those are some of the things you like about Africa. I know there are some things you do not like about Africa. Let's talk about those.
Oh, of course, I know you heard this before. The roads. The roads suck, you know. But that's just small and minor to the peace that you get. Other things I don't like about Ghana is the slowness in paperwork,
Oh.
and sometimes it seems to be unorganized. Uh, now, I'm prior military, so we used to things being organized. So organization is very important to me, at least in my mind. But I learned to be here in Africa. I needed to get rid of that to a point, you know.
It's kind of to slow down your expectations
Yes,
of things being done in
at a
a
certain
timely
time.
manner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I want it done in a timely order, unless I'm doing it myself, I better be quiet, sit down, and wait. Like again, unless I'm doing it myself. So the thing is, that's one of the things I work and being more professional. I think they lack a lot of professional way they do things here in Africa. Not everyone, but for like building, you know, you're building a home, you're starting a business. Uh, a little more professionalism will be good. Let me clarify what I mean. If a plumber comes and do the plumbing work on your house, the plumber will do the work, but he will leave the mess,
Okay.
and that's not professional.
Mm-hmm.
He will leave the mess, the dirt, wherever he dug up, all over your house. If you get a painter and he paints your house, he will paint your couch, your table, and everything else, you know, including your wall. And then he will really just leave if you don't say anything. Those things are not professional to you. Uh, Whether you're doing work or you speaking professional, even the restaurants, they have a real bad courtesy problem, a customer service problem. Uh, uh, that is one of the things they can work on. Now, if you out there and you African and you hear this, and you know this is to be true. Don't get upset. It's at what the truth is. Okay, nothing wrong with the truth. You just work on the truth. You don't take it personally. Now, if you told me something about me that was true, I would simply just work on it. I wouldn't deny it, and I wouldn't get angry over it. I would say, yeah, that's something we as a people need to work on. Now, don't get me wrong. The Africans, I believe, are my brothers and sisters. So these are things that we have to work on because I'm part of their community now. Now I can do my part in doing that with my business that I run, now that my daughter runs. That we are courtesy, we show professionalism, and we do proper business. That's a start.
Kind of show it by example.
Show by example.
Teach by example.
Teach by example. And that's all that we can do, you know, but as a whole, the country needs to work on that. They really do. I think the people here are good people. Um, they struggle and they hustle and they work hard. Just like the black Americans in the United States, I believe. They're good people. They struggle and they work hard. Uh, Same as African, because we're the same people for the most part. And so the same blood that run through me run through a lot of them here as well. I ain't saying all, because I know uh, camps will say, well, they came, and then I would say they shimmed, and blah, 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 blah. But the blood is there. And as a people, um, I just think we need to unify. And one of the things about my mission is also is to bring the two sticks back together. And I have videos out there. If anybody interested in Howard Shai Nawab, my young ride is my page, which will be on the bottom of the video if you want to see. And in that, you will see me go into discussions about why we should go by scripture, or where you should go. But this video is a personal video that you asked me. Now, my mission again, like I said, is to serve the Most High. I will always say that I am just a servant. That is all I am. That's all I will ever be. Guess what? And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with just being His servant. Not only am I happy with that, I am proud that He allowed me to serve. So that's the farthest me go far as a title or name. You can call me servant Kayahdawan, and I do not have no problem with that. Uh, uh, so, so, so family. Uh, what was the question again?
I just wondered what some of the things you didn't like about Africa.
Oh,
and I just have one. Oh, is there anything else you don't?
Well, that's it. Africa is a good It's a good place to be.
Okay.
You know.
Do you regret coming here, or have any regrets about coming?
Oh no regrets. I stand correct. The only regret I have is I didn't come sooner.
Okay.
If I would have came 10 years ago, I would be in a much better position, in a much better place. That's the only regret I have. I didn't come 10 years ago. I would have bought more land because it would have been cheaper. I would have had a lot more things. But it wasn't my will, it was the Most High. When He was ready for me to go, He told me, it's ready for you to go, boy. And I left. I heard Him, I listened, I moved.
Okay. So what are the final things you'd like to say to your family and friends who take the time to watch this interview?
First, I want to thank all of you for watching this video. Thank you. Second, I want to tell you that I love you, Barakatah. You know, in Hebrew, I love you, my brother, sisters, and praise you. But I want to tell you that making a trip to Africa can be scary. It can be scary. I understand. Uncertainty is scary. So I know comfort is comfortable. That's why it's called comfort. So stepping out of yourself and hearing that voice. This is why I wanted to tell you it's time to go. Babylon will fall. And you hear these words in your head all the time. Even though you just cast them away, you don't listen. I know you do. You can't tell me you don't hear them. So that's why there's so much debate, and that's why you fight so hard. Until people tell you to flee, you fight so hard to find a reason not to, because you hear the voice. The voice is there. You wouldn't be fighting so hard not to hear the voice if the voice wasn't there. And the harder you fight, the more I know you hear the voice. So that's just the Most High just saying, okay, you're going to keep fighting this. You're going to keep coming up with this. So my advice to you is to hear the voice, honestly. Look where you went. If you know for sure that place is going to fall, why are you in a place that you know is going to fall? It doesn't make any sense. So, and again, I'm not going to beat you down because people going to say I'm waiting for him to gather me, and you keep waiting. I always tell people. And I always tell people he did not gather up. He gathered up his people out of Egypt. He gathered his people out of Syria. He gathered them up out of Jerusalem. He gathered them all the captivities that we had. He gathered us out of. Why do you think the last captivity, when he said he gathered us out of, now mean that he gonna pull up his car and pick you up? It doesn't make any sense. You read the Bible every day and you see every captivity we had to flee. everyone. And everyone, he said, he gathered my children out of it. So why do you now take that word gather and mean I'm waiting for him to come get me? When he didn't come get none of the prophets. He didn't come get he didn't even come get Yahweh Shai with Mary and Joseph when he was carrying a baby inside of him. He didn't come get Moses. He didn't get anybody. They went and they did the work. They fled and they did the work. So we gotta stop playing this game that I'm waiting for him to gather me in, and I didn't hear the voice. I know you heard the voice, that's why you're arguing against the voice. So you can make that up in your head all you want. But it doesn't change the fact of this, brothers and sisters. It doesn't change this. It doesn't change the fact that those who chose to leave, whether it was in Syria and when they went across the Euphrates, whether it was in Egypt, or whether they crossed over into the Red Sea, whether it was in Jerusalem when he said that when you see the army suppressed to leave, they left. All these people left. And they were true believers. They were not running from Yahweh. They did not think Yahweh didn't have the power to save them. They were simply being obedient. And I know y'all don't want to hear this. They were simply being obedient to his word. When he said flee, they fled. Now you waiting for someone to tell you to flee, but throughout the Bible and in Revelation, he tell you to flee. So you waiting for a burning bush to come down in your house, in your living room, and an angel popping up a light in your living room, in your house, and say, John, it's time to go. You will die in Babylon. This is serious. You will die. Because just like those died that did not flee in Jerusalem and every other place, and I'm pretty sure not all left from Egypt either. They just not spoken of. You would die like in Jerusalem. They died in the arenas. They died in the cages. They died. And this is not to scare you because I love you. It's just a realistic point of view. If you don't do what the Father say, it's simply obedience, disobedience. And he does not reward disobedience. So if he told you to flee and you stay, you can't expect him to save you. You can't.
You have to make the effort.
You have to make the effort. And then I know, and then I'm going to end it with this. I know a young lady, she was writing, she said, and I was on that subject, and she said on a thing, she said, well, what about the sick and the old and those who cannot make it? And I told her this, I said, you can ask that same question at the time of the part of Egypt. You can ask that same question at the time of the Syrians had to flee. You can ask that same question at the time when Jerusalem fell and they had to flee. I said, nothing changes. I said, if they truly want to come, the Most High will make a way.
And that's where faith comes in.
That's where faith comes in.
And works.
And works. I said, if they want to come, the Most High will make a way. But they have to sincerely want to come in their heart. Mm-hmm. I said, just like he did when they left Egypt. Okay. See, you didn't ask, because I said, you didn't ask me what happened to the sick people, when they left Egypt. How did they leave? Think about it. You didn't ask me that when they left Jerusalem. You didn't ask me that. Throughout time, he has always made a way for those that want to leave. But they have to want to leave. He will make a way. So if you poor, you sick, you all those things or whatever out there, and you truly pray to the Most High and tell him you want to leave, he will make a way for you to leave. That's where the faith with the words come in. But he's going to expect you to do some work. And that's simply love. So that's just as simple what it is, my brothers and sisters. So you can make excuses day and night. You can live in your comfort and say, I love this comfort so much, I just don't want to leave. That's your choice. I'm going to leave you with this one thing. The greatest gift that the Most High has given you, the greatest gift that he has given me, and he has given the rest of the world, especially the Israelites, is the freedom to choose. He gave you a choice. He didn't have to give you a choice. He can make you do whatever you want to do, but he give you a choice. And for you to choose to stay, it's your choice. For you to choose to leave, it's your choice. But whatever choice you make, you're going to have to deal with the circumstances of it. I can stand in fire and let it burn me up, or I can get out of it. It's my choice. If I choose to stand in it, I choose to burn. It's not the Most High choice, it was mine. That's what we got to understand. I can't tell you Babylon is going to fall, Babylon is going to burn, Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, and I'm standing in it. I chose to stand in it. I chose to stand. I had a choice. And it ain't the Most High failure. It's a failure in my part, not his. And that is just.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else?
Oh, that's it. I love you, brothers and sisters. Salawam. And may the Ruach, may the Most High keep you and love you.